Welcome, everybody, to a brand new Blu-ray and DVD out and about video today. And this week sees the release of the long-awaited, and I mean long-awaited, comic book adaptation of The New Mutants, hitting store shelves along with the action thriller Unhinged. Westworld Season 3 is coming out, and the Criterion Collection is releasing two Blu-ray editions, one for the 1999 film Ghost Dog, and for the 1987 Cher starring Moonstruck. Such a good movie. Plus, much more. So let's go see the deals, exclusives, and we are at our first location, Walmart. So let's go in and see what they got. All right, everybody, we're in at Walmart. Yay! Oh my god. Oh my god. They don't have anything. They don't have any of the new stuff whatsoever. They don't. You know, most of the Mulan stuff is out, which is good. That sold well, but they have none of the New Mutants. They're supposed to have Broken Heart Gallery and Unhinged and a whole bunch of other stuff. They have nothing. They're wiped. Literally. Nothing whatsoever. And then they have none of the indie titles at all. That's all pretty much kind of empty-ish. And then even over on this side, they have like the little franchise section that literally has nothing either. Like, my god, man, they're wiped as all hell. Holy shit. Literally nothing new whatsoever. What the hell? Wow. Damn, I usually am hoping to see at least something new over here, but nothing at all, man. Damn. This is like fucking empty tomb in this motherfucker. Wow. Well, I'd say we'll search a little bit more, but there's really no point. Sorry guys. This Walmart is definitely a bust. What just happened? Wow. Oh my god, man. They don't have anything. They don't have any of the new releases. They don't have any of the indie titles. They have nothing, man. Wow. Holy cow. I was at least hoping to see maybe a couple of new things this week. I mean, I'm not expecting a whole, like, bonanza of titles every single week from this Walmart, but I thought something, right? I mean, it is a big release week, all things considered. And yeah, nothing whatsoever, man. I mean, this is like big ass dry spell, and we are like so close to Black Friday, man. You would think they would have like a ton of media out, really prepping, man. Damn, not at all. Wow, that's nuts. All right. I'd say I'm kind of surprised a little bit, and then a little bit not surprised. I think it all depends, man. But like, I've seen really bad weeks at this Walmart before. And then I've seen really great, fantastic weeks. This is on the really bad, man. I mean, maybe the truck is late. I mean, we might come here later on to see if they do have any of the stock. Maybe. But, boy, this was a really shitty way to start the video. God, let's hope that we see some more stuff at other stores. Please, God. This cannot be an indicator of where the week is going. Please, to God, I hope not. Well, I guess we'll have to try our luck and take a chance. Let's head in this location, and Lord, let's hope we see something. All right, everybody, we are at our second location, Target. But before we go in, I wanted to talk to you guys about something. Now, I've been keeping you guys updated about what's going on with movie studios and movie theaters and, you know, all the difficulties and the struggles and agreements that have been happening over the months. I've been keeping you guys updated on that. And there is now another update. Now, a while back, I talked to you guys about AMC and Universal Pictures making a deal where they shortened the theatrical window down to about 17 or so days, and then those movies would finally hit on streaming platforms. Now, if they're a more popular movie, then that might change a little bit. They'll do the full theatrical window and then go to streaming. But AMC and Universal made that deal. Well, now Universal has made another deal with Cinemark. Now, they've made the same general deal with Cinemark that they made with AMC, which is basically shortening the theatrical window to about 17 or so days. Now, the difference is that if a Universal movie makes over $50 million, Cinemark reserves the right to not allow that film to go directly to streaming after 17 days. They will keep the theatrical window going for its full, I don't know how many days it's in the theatrical window for, but for that amount of period. Now, it's very interesting because this is only Universal. It's not Warner Brothers, it's not Disney, it's not any of that stuff. It's just Universal. And they've only made the deal with Cinemark and AMC. They haven't made the deal with Cineworld, Regal, stuff like that. It's only those two. But movie theaters are seeing the signs. They know what's going on, guys. I mean, in all seriousness, they understand that come next year, movie theaters are in dire straits. Hell, they're in dire straits now. What the hell am I talking about? They really are. And they realize that if they don't make certain deals with these studios, they're going to miss out on movies. They're going to miss out on profits. And, you know, as much as we'd like to think that movie theaters are in it for, you know, showing the movies, no, they're in it for a profit. And they would rather see a theatrical window of 17 or so days than it going straight to streaming, and then they don't make any money. So Cinemark and AMC see the writing on the wall. They understand it. And Universal probably went to them and said, hey, look, we would rather put these movies in theaters for people to enjoy. Could we go straight to streaming? Yeah. And we'd probably get a nice paycheck from it, and you guys would get nothing. But we want to try to help you guys out. At the same time, we realize that some of these movies aren't going to make a big chunk of change. You guys know that, so why don't we just come together and just make an agreement that benefits us both? And that's what they did. I mean, I'm hoping Cineworld and Regal sort of come around. I hope they do, and I hope they make this deal. And I think that other studios like Warner Brothers and others are sort of seeing this and maybe are kind of looking at it like Paramount and whatnot, and they're seeing, okay, they are making these deals. Maybe eventually we'll come to the table. And I think you'll see that eventually, because movie studios ultimately want to make money. And they want to keep the movie theaters in business so that that money can continue to flow for them. But they also know that certain franchises are going to make a lot of money and others are just going to plummet. But they see the benefit of streaming at the same time. So why not the best of both worlds? I think that's where we're heading. I think with this new deal that Universal made with Cinemark, pretty much the same one they made with AMC, I think you're starting to see that this is where it's heading. I don't know if other movie studios are going to get in the game. I don't know if Regal and Cineworld is going to come around to this. I don't know, but I feel like if you don't start making these deals now, then come 2021, you're lagging behind. And I think movie theaters are seeing the signs and seeing where the trends are going, and they know that if they don't start making the proper deals now, then it's just good night for them. And that's the reality of the situation. Maybe they could have gotten a better deal pre-COVID, but now that we're in this world of COVID and God knows where everything will go next year, they just don't want to gamble on uncertainties. And I appreciate at least they're coming to the table. Not everybody is, but at least it's a start. Definitely let me know what you guys think of that. In the meantime, oh man, Walmart was a bust. Yeah, that sucked. Oh man, I'm hoping that Target is going to have some really good releases, considering it is a pretty decent release week. So why wouldn't they? Walmart really sucked. So, oh man, let's hope and pray that Target comes through this week. God, I'm hoping it does. Man, let's hope and pray. But how about we go in and check it out? All right, we are in at Target, and actually, whew, man, boy, am I thankful, man, because there's actually some physical media to check out this week. Thank the Lord, man. I was getting worried there, man. Trust me, I was really getting worried. The first thing I'm seeing is they have the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray digital of The New Mutants for $29.99, the Blu-ray digital for $24.99, and the DVD only for $19.99. Now, there's actually no exclusive that I see for The New Mutants, so I'm assuming there was nothing. I was hoping for maybe like something with like a gallery book, but don't think that was on the schedule with Target, unfortunately. But hey, at least they have all the types of releases: 4K, Blu-ray, and DVD. All the variety that you can ask for. And I got a chance to watch this movie on Amazon Prime, and I actually wanted to see it in the movie theater. I actually did, and was supposed to see it with Bob and John, and yeah, that was a no-go. The coronavirus pretty much killed that one completely. And it was a movie that I was just very interested in because it was sort of the last sort of X-Men mutant property that Fox did before the acquisition from Disney. So I was very curious of how this movie was going to pan out. It sort of felt like they were maybe wanting to start a whole new series, a whole new franchise with the New Mutants, so it seemed like maybe this could be kind of cool. And I like the trailers. The trailers look dark. I like the imagery. It looks like something I was definitely thinking I could really get into. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give this one a chance, man. And okay, so truth be told, I've never seen any of the comic books that are based off of the New Mutants. I've kind of told you guys that when I was younger, my comic book viewing was mostly from DC, a little bit from Marvel, but mainly DC. So I didn't get into a lot of things like the New Mutants, to be fair. So I really knew nothing about this movie really going in, other than watching the trailers and sort of seeing, what the plot might have been. It's basically about these young teenage characters who have these mutant abilities, these mutant powers, and they're holed up in this sort of hospital, asylum, whatever it is, and something's coming to get them. Something is after them. Something's making them go crazy and mad, and they have to figure out what that is, how to fight it, and also how to fight this doctor who may or may not be helping them, or she may have more nefarious purposes. So I wanted to like this movie, guys. I so wanted to like this film, man. I really did. I mean, I like a lot of the other X-Men films out there, so I'm like, okay, this seems like something right up my alley. They've screwed up a few times with the X-Men movies, but for the most part, I thought the series has been good. But watching this movie, man, this movie felt like it was very compromised. The action felt I mean, the acting is good. I thought the acting from everybody was really great. Maisie Williams and everybody involved did a really great job with the acting, so I can't say that the acting is bad. But the story is kind of weak. The action is kind of weak. And the movie overall, I hate to say it, was really, really boring. I mean, seriously, the movie is very boring. I mean, the movie is about an hour and a half long, give or take. And I was checking about like the 50-minute mark. I was waiting for something to happen. Like for 50 minutes within an hour and a half film, I was bored out of my mind. I mean, the characters were okay, but like the action was really weak. I was like, where is this going? Can we start to pick up the film a little bit here? And it was really dry. And once sort of the 50-ish minute mark started to hit, that's when things started to pick up and started to happen. And some of it was cool. I like the imagery of these guys with these weird faces and some of the cool abilities. I mean, some of the imagery is haunting. Some of it is beautiful to look at. The CGI isn't half bad. CGI is really good here, but man, this movie's kind of a mess. Because on one hand, it's kind of a horror flick. On one hand, it has to be a superhero film, and also like a teenage drama at the same time, and it doesn't really work. Even connecting to the X-Men franchise, there's like moments where they kind of say offhand, oh, you know, the X-Men, and being part of the team and whatever, but they don't really connect it to the rest of the X-Men world. And honestly, I was just really bored out of my mind. I was checking my watch constantly. I was checking the runtime of the film. I thought this was going to be a much more exciting movie, and it is really dull and a little bit lifeless. And it pains me to say that. It really does, guys, because again, there's some good things in the movie. The acting is really good here. I like the acting overall, and I think like they could have made something really cool out of this movie with the superpowers and sort of new mutant abilities, and there could have been something interesting, even like this conspiracy with the Essex Corporation that they could have dived into. There's so many avenues that they could have dived into with this movie, and it just turns into like a soapy John Hughes teenage romance horror drama, and I'm like, it didn't appeal to me. I gotta admit, man, to be real with you guys, as far as a lot of the movies that I've watched in 2020, the newer ones, the New Mutants for me has to be one of my biggest disappointments. Really, this is just a major disappointment for me. I know there's a certain amount of people that really like this movie, but if you compare it with the other X-Men films, it really, for me, it pales in comparison. It really does. It had a lot of potential, but man, did it fall really short. So, I mean, I went in really hopeful and really excited, and I left the movie painfully disappointed. And then I'm seeing they have the Blu-ray DVD digital of Unhinged for $19.99, the DVD for $14.99. Now, I got a chance to watch this on Amazon Prime as well. Now, this was one I, again, wanted to watch in the movie theater, but that goddamn coronavirus damn thing ruins everything, I tell you. So, I did actually want to watch this in the movie theater, but I'll settle for Amazon Prime, man. Now, I had heard some pretty decent things about Unhinged, man, and I do like Russell Crowe, man. That guy can be really just one angry dude that has a lot of major anger issues. Let me tell you, man. And so I'm like, okay, Russell Crowe playing this guy that's sort of out to sort of fuck with this woman's life. I'm like, okay, with Russell Crowe, that's perfect casting, man. I wouldn't fuck with Russell Crowe. So I'm like, I'm curious as to how far this guy is gonna go to ruin this woman's life, man. And god damn it, man. Talk about like just picking somebody when they're having a bad fucking day, man. So basically, Russell Crowe's already just messed up in the movie already through his personal life. And this woman who seems like a very honest, nice lady, dealing with her family issues and her son, and just is trying to just get through life the best she can. She ends up getting into a traffic incident with Russell Crowe's character, and suddenly this guy takes it way too personal. He basically is like, you have picked me on a bad fucking day, and I am going to mess up your fucking life, lady. Get prepared, cause your life is fucking screwed. And that's what he does, man. He just does everything to mess with this woman, kills people that she loves, messes with her life and her finances and just everything in her world. He just goes after her and everything in his path. And man, it is, I gotta admit, the movie's actually pretty damn good. It's thrilling. Russell Crowe's really good in the movie. He's very well done here. Like, you look at him, he's just a force of nature. He's like literally a a bullet train that is coming straight after you, and you cannot stop this guy to save your life, man. He is going to basically just ruin you, and then when he's done, he might kill you just for fun, man. I mean, this guy is just messed up, man. I mean, he's trying to run her off the road. He's trying to kill, her family members, her son. This is a wild movie, man. It really is, man. And there were certain moments when I was watching this movie, right? And there were some shocking moments of like, okay, I know this guy is brutal, and I know that he's like out for blood, and he's like out to kill. But there's certain moments when I'm watching the movie, right? And there's like moments when he's coming after her, and like the cops are involved and other people, and like they're just casualties, and he's just mowing these people down. Or even accidents like on the highway, like some dude is trying to stop him and then gets like caught in the road, and then suddenly like bam, gets like hit by a fucking truck, and suddenly it's like it turns to basically like spaghetti. Like, you're like, oh fuck, you're like holy shit, what the fuck? You're like, oh my god, man, you can't believe it, dude. Seriously. The movie's not perfect by any means, and you do know that at the end of the movie, because it's kind of predictable, that he will get his comeuppance. But damn, man, this woman is put through the ringer against Russell Crowe, man. I mean, Russell Crowe is literally unhinged. I mean, dude, I have road rage issues. I'll just forewarn you guys right away. I have major road rage issues at times. But I'm not Russell Crowe road rage, man. Let's put it this way. If I see Russell Crowe on the road, I'm going fucking 25 miles per hour, man. You can pass my ass by, dude. I want to keep my mother. I want to keep my girlfriend. Do not fuck with my life, bro. Like, seriously. Man, like, she just picked the wrong person to fuck with. Seriously. And man, her day just went from bad to worse. Like, way worse. Man, dude. It's a good movie. But it's one of those movies where you literally are like, as much as we get frustrated with cars on the road, maybe it pays to maybe to sort of think about it a little bit, and maybe to think that maybe the person that's driving that car might not be the most stable individual in the world. So before you go out of your way to honk at somebody or pass them by or curse at somebody, take a breather and really think about it, man. Because I know I sure am. Because, man, if they're like Russell Crowe, man, my ass is running for the fucking hills. And then they have the Blu-ray of A Rainy Day in New York for $14.99. I'm actually really surprised to see this at Target, because actually this movie was supposed to come out last week. And I didn't see it, and I figured nobody was going to have it because it's a Woody Allen film, and I know when we're talking Woody Allen, we're talking a lot of controversy, man. Like a lot. Like nobody pretty much carries a lot of like the new release Woody Allen stuff. So I was like, okay, I kind of get it. No one's gonna carry it. So I am surprised to actually see it here. Now I did watch this on Amazon Prime. Now I actually like a lot of Woody Allen flicks. I think Woody Allen's a good director. I mean, his personal life, guy's kind of a scumbag, okay? I mean, I'm going to be real with you. He kind of is. But as a filmmaker, I really like what he does, man. For the most part, there's a lot of movies that I like of his, and then there's a lot of movies that I'm kind of so on or frankly hate. But I usually try to give Woody Allen movies a chance for the most part. And so I was like, oh, hey, a new Woody Allen flick. Why the hell not? I'm going to give it a chance, man. And it's basically about this couple played by Timothée Chalamet and Elle Fanning. And they sort of separate for the day and go on different adventures in their lives and sort of learn about themselves and get into sort of mishaps and sort of figure out who they are as people and who they are to each other and their relationship. Damn, man, this movie was, man, it wasn't so good, and I wanted to really like A Rainy Day in New York because again, I like a lot of Woody Allen movies, but I mean, here's the thing: the acting is actually pretty decent from everybody. Leah, Diego, Jude Law, Selena Gomez, all of them, they actually do a pretty decent job as far as the acting department is concerned. So it's not as though the acting is bad in this movie. It's that the story and the characters themselves are kind of bland and dull and really got on my nerves, man. I mean, really did. I mean, these characters, I mean, in a lot of Woody Allen movies, there's a lot of characters that are very neurotic. And I mean, like, really neurotic. But with this movie, literally, it seemed like every character in some moment or another is incredibly neurotic to the nth degree, man. Like, literally, I was like, I'm getting really annoyed with these characters. Even the way the dialogue is, it's like, nobody talks like that. Seriously, nobody talks like that at all. It felt like very pretentious and sort of like high society shit where I'm like, I can't relate to this material. How could anybody? Like, it's kind of trying to be a romance movie, but like you can't connect with any of the characters. They all do like really shitty things. They're really shitty people. They're all like neurotic and need to go to a fucking therapist like 20 fucking times a day, man. I mean, I don't know what Woody Allen was thinking with this movie. Like, it's not an enjoyable watch. It's not one of those movies that's going to be an underrated Woody Allen film. It's just really a waste of time to watch this movie and a waste of time if you're a Woody Allen fan, which really sucks because there's so many great Woody Allen films out there. I mean, the last one I really liked was Midnight in Paris, which I thought Midnight in Paris was so good, man. I liked the sort of him going back to the 20s, and I liked the characters, and I thought it was charming, and it was sweet, and it had some really funny and poignant moments to it. I thought it was really good. And then I see Rainy Day in New York, and I'm like, this movie is really just a mega disappointment to me, man. Honestly, like I said, does it taint my enjoyment of Woody Allen films? No, because I like Woody Allen as a director. I think some of his movies are absolutely brilliant, but I sort of look at older filmmakers like Woody Allen, and I kind of say that maybe maybe the sensibilities of an old school director like Woody Allen worked for back in the day, but in these times, especially with a movie like Rainy Day in New York, it really fell flat, man. It kind of reminded me of a movie like One Fine Day, but One Fine Day is a much better movie, better in so many ways with the dialogue, and it's more charming and it has funny moments to it, and it engages you. Yeah, those characters can be kind of neurotic too, but it still is fun, and you still get the romance aspect to it. A Rainy Day in New York, man, this was really just a mega disappointment. Just as a Woody Allen fan, it's to me it's going to be on the bottom tier of Woody Allen films by far, man. And I know this movie had a lot of controversy anyways. Timothée Chalamet was in the film, and he had denounced the film and denounced Woody Allen, and it was a whole controversy to the movie. But at the end of the day, the movie's just not really worth it. Controversy, or just as a Woody Allen fan, it's really disappointing. Honestly, if you have a rainy day, I suggest not watching A Rainy Day in New York. And then I'm seeing they have the Blu-ray digital of Words on Bathroom Walls for $19.99, the DVD for $14.99. Now, I got a chance to see this on Amazon Prime, and as I told you guys last week, I do like a good young teen romance movie. Not all of them are created equal. Yes, I know this, but I think for the most part, there's some really good ones out there. And this seemed like something that I might be interested in. So I decided, what the hell, I'm going to give it a watch. If you can't trust your mind, trust your heart. That's pretty much the lesson of the movie. So, Charlie Plummer plays this kid who ends up getting diagnosed with schizophrenia. And his mind is racing all over the place. He can't really focus, and he's seeing things constantly, and he sort of falls in love with this young teen girl. And it's them sort of overcoming these issues with his schizophrenia, finding one another, and kind of finding one another in this world of people who mock him and don't understand him, and trying to deal with his condition. That's pretty much what the movie is. Now, I gotta admit, guys, as I said, it's a good movie. I like the romance aspect. I like the acting here. I think it's a good overall story. I think the problem with the movie, honestly, is it's pretty predictable. As far as young teen movies go, like romance flicks, it's very predictable. You know at the end that, they're going to overcome the issues, that they're going to stay in love with each other. You know the adversities that are going to happen. It's basically your standard young adult teen romance flick. I mean, just with a little added schizophrenia, for your pleasure. But I thought for the most part the movie was very well done. Again, albeit predictable, but it is a decent teen romance movie. Unfortunately, it's not as good as last week's one, which, if you guys forgot, the one I was talking about last week, which was Spontaneous, which Spontaneous is awesome. Spontaneous is more of like a movie that, to me, yes, it's a teen romance movie, but it's so much more than that. About teen angst and the unpredictability of being a teen and the choices that you have to make, and also kind of mixing a little horror flick in there as well. Like, it had a lot of really great things. This has some of that stuff, but it's a little bit more predictable. It's a little bit more safe. So for me, honestly, guys, as much as I really do think the film is good, and I think the romance works, a bit predictable for my taste. But I did enjoy it, though, and the acting was decent. Not gonna lie on that one, man. Then I'm seeing over here they have the Blu-ray digital of the Broken Hearts Gallery for $22.99, the DVD for $19.99. Now, this is another one that I saw through Amazon Prime, yet another romance movie to watch. Of course. It seems like we're getting a lot of romance flicks as of late. So I didn't really know what to expect with this movie going in. I will be real with you guys that I thought it was going to be really schmaltzy. I was like, okay, it's called the Broken Hearts Gallery. I kind of figured this is going to be a little schmaltzy and a little, pandering. But honestly, it was a really fun movie. Swear to God, man. Basically, it's about this young woman who has been in a lot of relationships. She's kind of a hoarder, and she kind of collects things from her relationships. And after her latest breakup, she ended up, just basically just feeling so down on the dumps. And she sort of creates, with this friend of hers, this gallery of items that have sort of touched their lives, and the love has sort of left those items, but they've stuck around. And it was sort of like therapeutic in a way for her to kind of like get through this, but then other people find out about it, and then they donate stuff and talk about their stories, and it becomes becomes its own unique thing. And it's her also finding, new love with this other person as well. So there's a lot going on in the movie, but it's so well done, man. It really is, because I thought the love story was pretty cool. It's not in your face. It's more subdued. I thought it was funny. I thought the characters were really charming and likable and lovable. And I liked the sort of breakup, falling in love humor, whether it's sort of, funny jokes about sex, or, these certain items that she's keeping, like, fucking shoelaces. Who the fuck keeps shoelaces from previous boyfriends or girlfriends? Well, apparently this chick does. And it had a uniqueness to it. Honestly, would be a really perfect date night movie. Really, the Broken Hearts Gallery would be a perfect date night film. It's got the humor in it. It's got a good romance storyline. The characters are enjoyable. You like hanging out with them. There is a lot to really enjoy with the Broken Hearts Gallery, man. And I thought the movie was going to be schmaltzy and kind of really stupid, but the movie was really enjoyable and charming, and I'm actually thoroughly shocked by that. It's so much better than I think I would have ever given it credit for. A lot of these modern day rom-coms are just kind of so-so. So I was kind of going into this kind of like, oh God, what is this gonna be? But honestly, this movie really surprised me, and I think if you guys give this a chance, it will surprise you as well. And then I'm seeing over here they have the DVD of John Lewis' Good Trouble for $12.99. I definitely didn't watch this week. I didn't even know this was coming out, man. Thousands of protests, 45 arrests, 33 years in Congress. Very nice. Sometimes change calls for a little trouble. Very nice, man. I'm assuming this is a documentary on his life, I would imagine. Yeah, it's kind of a documentary on his life, and probably the people that impacted him and the people he's met along the way. Looked like a very interesting documentary. I know a little bit about John Lewis's history and his backstory and what things he's went through in his life. And it's very fascinating, man. John Lewis, of course, died this year, 2020. Rest in peace. He was a huge advocate for, the rights of African Americans and equality, and he seemed like a very good and honest and decent human being and a decent soul, and so will be severely missed, man, really. But it's probably a really fantastic documentary. Probably is really amazing, man. I mean, if you like a good documentary on sort of very interesting political figures, this might be actually worth checking out. I do indeed at times like a very good documentary. Doesn't look bad, man. Then I'm also seeing they have the Blu-ray digital of Death of Me for $17.99. True love takes sacrifice. A lot of sacrifice. like your death. Oh man, and it looks like she's definitely heading towards her death. That's for damn sure. Oh baby, so I saw this on Amazon Prime, and I wanted to watch it because, well, pretty much because of Maggie Q. I mean, I think Maggie Q is actually really hot. I mean, is it just me? I think she's smoking hot, man. I like her in a lot of roles, man. She's a hot chick. I mean, yes, she's a good actress. I do like her, acting abilities in a lot of her roles. She's a kick-ass chick. But I mean, let's be real. She's hot. I mean, come on now, man. And the movie is basically about this American couple who is in Thailand to vacation or something like that, and they wake up one day and they don't know what the hell happened. They don't know what's going on. They can't remember a damn thing, and they check their cell phones, and it's like it looks like they had a wild night. Her husband was choking her and possibly killed her, but looks very much alive, and it's sort of their journey to go through Thailand and figure out what the hell happened, where is their passports, what happened to them, why is nobody telling them the truth, who can they trust, who can't they, and all the sort of horrific happenings that are going on around them. And I thought going into this movie it was going to be really cheapo and like a really sort of terrible horror movie, kind of like a really chintzy sort of torture porn flick almost. And not at all. That wasn't the case, man. Actually, the movie's pretty decent. I think the acting is all right. I mean, Maggie Chu's pretty good here. Luke Hemsworth, which I'm sorry, but I've never. See, I'm trying to rack my brain. I don't think I've ever seen Luke Hemsworth in a movie before. I'm almost positive that I've never seen him in a film, ever. Maybe this is the first time I have, but is it just me, but it's like every time that they introduce a new Hemsworth, it's like a little less effective. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like Chris Hemsworth is great, and then Liam Hemsworth is, well, not as good, and then we're down to the third rung of the Hemsworth clan, and it's like, and that's not as good, and I'm kind of like, oh God. I'm like, maybe they should have just stuck with Chris, man. I mean, Luke is not terrible, but he's, it's not good. It's okay. I guess he suits the role, I suppose. Whatever. But it's really just the mysterious stuff that's happening around Thailand with them. It's interesting. This couple is going around, and look, they don't speak the language. These people are acting really shady, and it's interesting with sort of the sort of voodoo vibes that you see within the film. These people messing with them, and people running away and then reappearing, and people sort of almost have ulterior motives, but you don't quite know what their alternative motives are, and these people are just stuck here, and they just are sort of slowly losing their minds, and no one is willing to help them. And it's a very interesting tale. Like I said, I like the mysteriousness of it. I like sort of the voodoo aspects to it. And I'm sorry, guys. I am so sorry, but I don't care whether it's Hangover Part 2 or Death of Me here. I'm done. I'm never going to Thailand ever. I'm sorry, man. I'm sure Thailand is very nice. I'm sure there's some really wonderful people there, but fuck it. I'm not going to Thailand. There's just some shady shit that happens in Thailand, man. And I will stay my ass on my fucking leather couch watching other Americans get fucking tortured and killed and messed with in Thailand. My ass is... Thank God I don't own a passport. Because my girlfriend is like, oh, hey, you should get a passport, and, we'll sort of travel the world once this COVID thing, and, we'll take trips. I'm like, no, I love you, but no, fuck that. I'm not going to Thailand. I'm not going anywhere. First of all, I want people to speak the fucking language that I'm speaking, and I want to be able to trust people. And I'm sorry, I've watched too many movies of things going on in Thailand where people are fucking with you. I am so not going to deal with it. No fucking way. I'm sorry. I know some of you all probably think Thailand is fantastic, but you know what? They can keep it, because my ass is staying put. You can guarantee that, man. If they mess with a hot chick like Maggie Q, what the fuck would they do with my ass? Then I'm seeing they have the DVD of The Devil Has a Name for $16.99. Inspired by true events. Some deals are too rotten for the devil. Damn. This deal must be incredibly rotten if the devil won't even touch the goddamn thing. Shit, man. Now, I watched this on Amazon Prime. Yet another thing I watched through Amazon Prime this week. I watched a lot of shit through Amazon Prime, man. I really did. Like, seriously, I was watching a lot of shit for this week's releases, man. No lie on that. And I was curious because of the cast, and this has a great cast, man. David Strathairn, Kate Bosworth, Edward James Olmos, Haley Joel Osment, Alfred Molina, Martin Sheen. I mean, great goddamn cast here, man. And also being based on true events. There is a lot of movies that I really like that are based on true events, so I'm like, I'm gonna give it a chance, man. Now, basically, it's about this guy who is just a down on his luck farmer, and he realizes that this company has been polluting his water for God knows how long, and he's just on this crusade to try to right the wrongs and find the truth and hold these people accountable and these companies and all sort of the crazy and wild things that happen. I'm just like inspired by true events. I'm thinking to myself, my God, man, some of this shit actually happened? It's a wild story, man, of this guy going up against this company and all of the shady shit that this company does to try to discourage this guy. It's nuts, man. Some wild things that this company will manipulate against this person and his life and his friends and his family. It's a really great dramatic tale that has some good, funny, charming moments in it as well, which kind of took me off guard, but it was actually a good break between all the dramatic and the thrilling moments that was going on. And it's also a really interesting movie as far as who you can trust. Like, people who you thought that was on your side weren't, people that are backstabbing you and lying to your face. It's a really fantastic and really interesting movie. The acting is amazing here by everybody. The story is just really wild and fascinating. And the fact that, I guess I shouldn't be so surprised, but the shady shit that these companies will do to protect their ass. You know, you think you see it all, and then you see something like this, and you're like, my God, man, these people go to all these levels to pollute things and to hurt people's lives. And, you know, you think everything is good in this world and people have good intentions, but underneath it all, man, people are just insidious and evil and will do anything, man, really. It's a wild story, man, it really is, but it's a really great film, man, really, really well told. I really enjoyed this one a lot, man. I think you guys would too. Very, very good flick. I wasn't expecting much, but that was a great surprise, man. Then I'm also seeing they have the Blu-ray digital of Westworld, the third season for $31.99, the DVD for $26.99. Now, I have not seen a single episode of Westworld, okay? Not gonna lie, I have not seen any of the Westworld. Now, I do have HBO on Amazon Prime, and so eventually I will get around to watching it at some point. But I've heard a lot of mixed things about Westworld. A lot of people really loved that first season, and then the second season was decent, but not as good. And I decided to do a little bit of a dive into what people thought. through looking up reviews on YouTube and just online. And man, a lot of people were mega disappointed by Westworld Season 3. Now, there are some people who definitely really did enjoy this season, but it's few and far between. Really, honestly is, man. And the complaints I'm sort of hearing about Westworld Season 3 is that a lot of the great characters from the early seasons sort of get shortchanged, and they don't have very good story arcs. They're very much forgotten, and the new characters aren't that really well serviced anyways. They're not really great worthy replacements for the older, more established characters. It's a shorter season, which should have meant that it was more focused, but the storyline sort of suffers because of that. Not as really good character arcs, or they didn't really plot it out that well. They also thought that the show was mega predictable, and it kind of feels like they're running out of creative ideas and material for the actual show itself. I mean, they do say it's really good science fiction still. There's some really great ideas and thoughts in there, and there's great potential, but it felt like the potential has sort of gone the way of the wayside as the series has gone on. I really do like some good science fiction. I love good science fiction tales, and it felt like the mythology is really going nowhere as well. That's another thing I'm hearing also. Science fiction can be really tricky as far as TV show goes. How far can you push the limits? How far can you push the storyline and the characters until you kind of feel frustrated? Westworld, from all accounts I'm hearing, is people are starting to get that way with this show now. Again, I've got to watch it. I've never seen a single episode of it, but now that I have HBO on Amazon Prime, I will start to give this one a look. Is Season 3 as bad as I'm hearing it is? Is it a little bit more redeemable? Does it pale in comparison or equal the first couple of seasons? Definitely let me know. I mean, there's a really good art there. I really like the art, but if it's not a good season, then I don't care what good art it is. It just won't stack up, man. I don't know. Definitely let me know what you guys think of that one. But a lot of really great stuff this week, man, here at Target. They definitely delivered in a big bad way. And I was so worried. I thought, oh man, this week was going to be rough, and Target wasn't going to have anything. Boy, did they prove me wrong in a really great way, man. So happy, man. I hope you guys are too. Let's head out. Thank the Lord for Target. Whew, oh my god, man. Did you ever think I was seriously ever going to say that in any of these videos? Thank God for Target. I didn't think I was going to, but I guess today is the day that I finally say that, man. Oh my god. After the emptiness of Walmart, I was seriously like thinking we weren't going to see shit, man. But boy, did Target save the day. It really did, man. Thank the Lord. I mean, I know that there was a lot of stuff that came out this week, so I know that it's a big release week, but it just shocked me that the first Walmart, which is sometimes unreliable anyways, but I knew we would try to see some stuff there, man, they had nothing. So the fact that Target had stuff this week, man, I am so thankful to the physical media gods by far, man. They blessed me with this Target for sure, man. I mean, not really any exclusives, but a ton of really great media, and for that I'm very grateful by far, man. And I see a lot of employees around here sort of scrambling and putting up displays and stuff for Black Friday, so they're getting ready for sure, man. But it's nice to see that they're still focused on the week-to-week stuff, and they definitely deliver for physical media this week. And not half bad. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Way better than Walmart by far. Alright, let's head to the next location and see some more physical media goodness. Alright, everybody, we are at our third location, the second Walmart. I'm going to go in and check out if there's any interesting movies worth looking into. If there is, I'm going to bring them back to Film Fan 108 Central and show you guys the media. But before I do, I want to talk about a movie trailer that literally just dropped, and that is the trailer for Tom and Jerry coming to a movie theater near you next year, maybe. God knows if it's actually going to, but they did drop the trailer, and
You see, I've never really been a big fan of Tom and Jerry. I never really have. When I was growing up, I was more of a fan of Looney Tunes. I was a fan of the Flintstones, stuff like that. I knew of Tom and Jerry, and occasionally I would watch some of Tom and Jerry, but I wasn't really a huge fan of it. But this is a full on live action adaptation with Tom and Jerry being animated and them going on crazy hijink adventures in this hotel. Look, the trailer is alright. It's not a terrible trailer by any means. I'm sure a lot of kids will enjoy the movie. And it's got some recognizable stars in there: Ken Jeong, Chloe Grace Moretz. But I just get some really bad vibes from this. As somebody who has watched certain live action movies with animated characters, a lot of them aren't that good, man. And I'm being real here. I mean, do you guys remember Looney Tunes Back in Action? Yeah, that wasn't really so hot. Do you remember Osmosis Jones? Yeah, wasn't really so hot. The only movie that I liked that was live action mixed with the animation was Space Jam. And that was a long, long time ago, man, when I watched that. And that was when I was a kid, and I kind of liked it because, hey, it was the Looney Tunes. But then, years later, watching Looney Tunes Back in Action, I was like, that's garbage. It's shit. So I look at this trailer, and I'm like, maybe kids are going to enjoy it. They probably will get a kick out of it. But as far as, like, a movie that I'm going to enjoy, I don't think this movie's going to have any entertainment value for me whatsoever. I mean, it just feels like, Tom and Jerry doing their regular shtick with these live action actors that are kind of looking at the ground and looking at certain things that's not there and being like, oh, Tom and Jerry, oh, you characters, you. And I'm like, oh, fuck my life. Like, god damn it. I don't want to hate on movies like this, but I gotta be real with you guys. It just does not look good, man. I'm sure it's enjoyable to a small degree for kids. Maybe if you have a nostalgia for Tom and Jerry, but you could just rewatch the regular animated stuff. You don't really need to watch this live action thing. I mean, movies like Looney Tunes Back in Action damn near killed certain actors' careers. Let's be real, man. And now, like, Chloe Grace Moretz is trying this, and I'm like, why? Why? What's in it for you? Like, you're a good actress. You don't need this. It just kind of baffles me, man. I mean, like I said, there's cool little hijinks with, Tom and Jerry chasing after each other and trying to catch one another, and, sort of what animated characters do in live action movies. And I just have no interest in it. I really don't. I'll probably see the movie eventually, but as far as like paying my hard-earned money to go to a movie theater, unless I had kids that are really into Tom and Jerry, this one would be a hard pass for me, man. I mean, definitely let me know what you think of Tom and Jerry, what you think of this live action trailer. Is it going to be worth it, or is it going to be just like something like Looney Tunes Back in Action, which was a big old flop, and honestly, deservedly so. I mean, definitely let me know what you guys think. In the meantime, well, I'm going to check out if they have any interesting titles in the second Walmart worth checking out.
We interrupt this video for some late breaking news. Nothing to show off at the second Walmart? Seriously? Yeah, there's literally nothing to show off at the second Walmart, guys. Nothing at all, man. Now, truth be told, there actually is a lot of indie titles coming out this week. And a lot of it I was able to watch, and some not so much. I wasn't able to get to it. But I knew there was a decent amount. So here I thought I was going to go into the second Walmart, and there was going to be some stuff that I hadn't quite showed off yet. So I was actually prepared to grab it, come back to Film Fan 108 Central, and show it off to you guys. But yeah, that wasn't the case. In fact, going into the second Walmart, literally, the front section is completely empty. Literally, it's empty. Not much to show off, and the side area is just almost as bad. Literally nothing whatsoever, man. I mean, it's like bare bones, man. And so, this was like, late afternoon, early evening, nothing whatsoever. And I'm like, okay, damn, man. It's like the second week in a row not being able to show anything off from the second Walmart. I mean, I'm cool with it. I mean, one less thing I gotta take care of, but really weird. Sort of the first Walmart was like empty, zero, nothing, and now the second Walmart is like pretty much like just like flies buzzing around nothing, man. So yeah, crazy, dude. Really nuts. But I mean, maybe their trucks were all late. Who knows, man? But kind of nutty to think that there's nothing to show off for 2 straight weeks. I'm sure that it's not going to be 3, but you never quite know, man. Here I thought I was going to show off some stuff from second Walmart. It ends up being that not so much. I mean, trust me, there is still a lot of great media to show off, and the next location will definitely prove it. But sometimes you think that you're going to find something at one of these stores, and then you end up not finding diddly shit. I mean, that's why you do the out and abouts, because you never quite know what you're going to find, good or bad, until you actually enter into the store. And I guess this week, the Walmart's definitely proved that one. I'd definitely say so. Well, hey, nothing from the second Walmart. Cool with me. Hope it's cool with you. Let's head to next location, and how about we check out some more physical media goodness?
All right, everybody, we are at our fourth and final location, and you guessed it, guys. We are at the Beast, Best Buy, baby. I'm very curious to see what Best Buy has to offer. I mean, look, we went to one location that literally had Zippo Zilch, one that had a hell of a lot of stuff. And now going to Best Buy, which is always a little bit of a wild card, but always surprises us with some really great media and maybe some cool exclusives. Definitely worth checking out. I'm kind of freezing my ass off, so let's head in and check out the media, shall we? All right, everybody, we are in at Best Buy, and the major thing I'm seeing right off the bat is they have the Blu-ray digital of The New Mutants for $24.99, the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray digital for $29.99, and oh yes, the only exclusive that we got for New Mutants, the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray Digital Limited Edition Best Buy Steelbook for $34.99. Now look at this thing, man. This is nice. I like that. Where they're kind of like trying to like smush their faces and come out. I love it. That's really cool. I mean, come on. That's a really cool Steelbook, man. That's really nice. I like that. That's pretty damn cool, man. And then on the inside are that imagery, which looks really cool too. It's nice. That's a really nice Steelbook, man. I can't say I have high praise for every Steelbook, but this is really cool, man. Nice. That is awesome, man. I just honestly wish it was a better movie. I mean, I'm going to be real, and I'm going to be honest with you, that I'm really glad that Disney now owns the Marvel X-Men franchise characters, and now they can bring it back to Marvel Studios, they can bring it back to Kevin Feige. I'm really curious and really interested to see where these characters dive into next. I really honestly am. Now, I'm critical with Disney on a lot of stuff. Really, I am. But there are certain moments when I feel like there's good decisions when they pick up properties, and I think this is one with the X-Men franchise. And look, let's be real here. The 20th Century Fox years with the X-Men, there have been a lot of really great moments.
but there's also been a lot of really bad moments too. And unfortunately, when all is said and done, the journey has been in a lot of rough waters, man. I mean, I remember when that 2000 X-Men movie came out, and that was a revelation, man. I remember when that came out, people were like, wow, they actually did an X-Men movie and it worked. Like, they brought these characters together and you can actually do it and make it work. And it's not the most perfect movie in the world, but I think for the time, it was really mind-blowing and revolutionary. And it started down this great, wonderful path of superhero films that we're now on to this day. I mean, look, X2 is amazing. I love that film. X-Men The Last Stand, even though I'm sure you guys have a lot of problems with that movie, I happen to kind of enjoy it. I mean, it does have problems, let's be real. But I thought overall it was pretty decent, man. I mean, at least I thought it was. But there has been a lot of issues. I mean, look, X-Men First Class, great. Days of Future Past, awesome. X-Men Apocalypse, really shitty. X-Men Dark Phoenix, not so hot. X-Men Origins Wolverine, pretty laughable. I mean, look, but Logan was great, though. I mean, so at times, Fox did really well, and at other times, they really failed. And the real question I have is, was it all accidental? And what I mean by that is, did they really care enough about the characters and this franchise? Because sometimes I think to myself, like, all of it was accidental. I mean, Bryan Singer made some really great movies, and other directors came in and did some other really good stuff. But I just don't know whether they really cared, or if it was just all about the money. Because at the end of the day, I think they saw the X-Men franchise, they saw dollar bills. Once the first movie became successful, they're like, okay, now we can really do more films, we can make this into a franchise, we can introduce New Mutants. Did they care about the integrity of the characters? Did they care about those other New Mutant characters? No, they just were like, hey, we'll introduce Gambit. Why? Because Gambit has a cool ability with playing cards. Okay, I mean, did it all, at the end of the day, matter? I mean, look how they treated a character like Deadpool. I mean, if you look back at X-Men Origins Wolverine, they literally took a giant dump on Deadpool. I mean, they really did. And you look at other characters within the X-Men franchise, some of them they treated with great respect, and other characters they literally dismissed and really did piss poor with. I look back on that era of 20th Century Fox films very fondly. But even I can admit that it wasn't perfect. And I think now, under Kevin Feige, I think there's a chance that there's going to be a lot of respect with these characters. There's going to be a lot of really great storylines and journeys that these characters are going to take on. And I do think a lot of care is going to be placed with these great iconic characters and with these great iconic storylines. I don't think 20th Century Fox, at the end of the day, they care. I think they saw it as a money cow, and that's what it was. And some of the movies just happened to be good. Am I wrong? I mean, do you think that some of these producers and executives cared? Because at the end of the day, I don't think so. I mean, they cared about Wolverine because that was a cash cow. They cared about Professor X because that was a cash cow. Magneto was a cash cow. They didn't care about some of these other characters. I don't think they cared about Mystique until like, you know, a huge star was playing the role. I don't think they cared about characters like Juggernaut or the Blob. I just don't think they did, man. I mean, there's a lot of characters that I feel like just got shortchanged because, oh, let's put it in because it looks cool, or it's part of the franchise or the comic book, and not really care. At the end of the day, the 20th Century Fox years are going to be spotty at best. we'll remember the good films, but we'll also really remember the bad ones and really remember when it was truly bad. And the New Mutants kind of feels like a last gasp for 20th Century Fox, because Josh Boone has come out in interviews and said that he wanted to make a horror film. He wanted to make a horror film. He wanted to make a very influential horror superhero flick, and he felt like, there's literally interviews where he says that he was neutered, that he felt like he had to play sort of chicken with these producers, like who was going to blink first, because they wouldn't let him do what he wanted to do. And even though this film isn't outright terrible, it's really boring, and it had shades. It really reminded me of Fan Four Stick. It really did. Where you look back at Fan Four Stick and they wanted to make a horror version of Fantastic Four, and he got shortchanged. He literally got outruled at every turn, and it ended up being this mishmash of ideas which didn't work, and it ended up being a failed experiment. And I look at the New Mutants as trying to make an interesting new X-Men franchise and utterly failing. Is it as bad as Fan Four Stick? Oh God, no, I don't think anything can be as bad as Fan Four Stick. Let's be real, man. But at the end of the day, this is just a real bore, and it's lifeless. And when I watch this movie, it tells me that 20th Century Fox really didn't care, and Disney really didn't care about this movie. I mean, they acquired the franchise because they wanted the characters. The New Mutants were like, okay, we have this cool thing, and they even tried to do reshoots for this film, tried to maybe put it in the X-Men universe, and they just really didn't care about this film, and really couldn't have wanted to even see this film go into theaters. Unfortunately, it was contractually obligated to go into the movie theaters, but I think Disney could have cared less. I think Disney looked at this film like, okay, you already made the film, fuck it, we'll put it out, but we just don't give a fuck. And after seeing the movie, I can see why, man. I mean, it's an interesting effort. This actually is supposed to be a trilogy. They were actually supposed to do 2 other films in this, and I just don't see it, man. This is a really big disappointment for me, and I now see sort of the Marvel Studios years and Kevin Feige as actually something of a blessing, because I see this movie as a last gasp that just doesn't work, man. Honestly, it really doesn't. I mean, some really great features, deleted scenes, some featurettes. It's interesting. I would be interested in the deleted scenes. Are they the reshot stuff, or are they just regular deleted scenes that they took out? I'll be very interested to find that out, man. It would be very interesting to me to sort of check that out and see what was what. But before I end up actually letting you guys go from this section, I wanted to actually say that this film was originally supposed to come out in April 13th of 2018, okay? It was supposed to come out then, right? Okay? It got pushed back to February 22nd, 2019. Then it got pushed back to August 2nd, 2019. Then it was supposed to come out the beginning of April 2020, and then the final release date is August 28th of 2020. And this film was originally filmed in 2017. It literally took 3 fucking years for an X-Men movie to come out. Literally, 20th Century Fox did not have any hope for this movie, and Disney literally looked at this film and didn't want to deal with it. I'm glad it's out there in the market for people to want to buy, but the New Mutants, to me at least, is going to go down as one of the redheaded stepchilds of the franchise. That maybe in years' time it'll be underappreciated, but for me, it kind of felt like they were running out of ideas. And hopefully going forward to the Disney years, we'll get some really great stories. Definitely let me know what you think of that, guys. Definitely let me know. But that's all I'm seeing over in this section. At least we saw one exclusive, which is not bad, man. So how about we go and see what else Best Buy's got. And we are over in this section of Best Buy, and some actually really great titles over here that we definitely have not seen yet. And the first thing I'm seeing over here is they have the Blu-ray of the Terminator 6 film collection, T1 through 6. And there's no price, but I know this came out this week, but I didn't think I was actually going to see it in the stores. It felt like a release that you'd get through online and not really find in the stores, but nah, man, we actually saw it here. Not bad. Interesting cover. It's basically of the Terminator machine. That's pretty much it. I mean, it's not a bad cover. It's not the greatest. It's not, honestly, it's not one of those covers that like intrigues you to buy the set. I hate to say it, and it's a very slim set for all of the movies. Terminator all the way down to Terminator Dark Fate and everything in between. I have a very complicated relationship with the Terminator franchise. I really do, man. It's not that I outright hate the Terminator franchise, because truth be told, I don't hate it. There's a lot of the movies that I really do enjoy, but the ones that are bad are really bad, man. And it's a franchise that's really inconsistent. I mean, the first Terminator film is classic. There's no doubt about that. No one is ever going to argue that shit to save their lives. Terminator 2 is phenomenal, amazing. The effects still hold up to this day, and that was, what, like 91 or 92? Brilliant stuff, man. Now, this is where I diverge from a lot of other people. And I know a lot of you guys are going to be pissed off at me, but look, I really like Terminator 3. I saw Terminator 3 in the movie theaters. I think it was the summer of 2003, if I'm not mistaken. And I enjoyed it. Now, look, it's no Terminator or Terminator 2. Okay, I mean, let's be realistic. But I actually really like the story of an older John Connor who, doesn't really feel like he's destined for anything anymore. His mother has passed away, and basically Terminator comes into his life like, hey, you think you stopped Judgment Day, but in fact, no, you really didn't. And it just course corrected itself, and it is still happening with or without you, but we need you. And I really like that. I really like that story structure to it. I thought Nick Stahl was really great. I liked Claire Danes in it. I liked Arnold in it, man. I thought it was good. And the ending, dude, that ending to Terminator 3 is, to me, one of the best Terminator endings of all time. Like, it is fantastic, man. Great apocalyptic ending, man. Amazing. So I know, look, people hate that movie. I personally love it. Look, I get the hate, but I still love the damn thing. Then Terminator Salvation. Man, I don't really like Terminator Salvation. I mean, look, I get it. They tried to do something that was cool, like a Terminator film that's actually in the future and showing the future world. It's a bold and creative idea, man, and I get it. And Mick G tried. But I just, for some reason, there was a lot of disconnect for me. And I'm sorry, but Christian Bale, man, I just couldn't get into his portrayal of just John Connor. I just couldn't do it, man. I really couldn't. It was a real disconnect with me. I wasn't feeling it. And even though there's some cool characters here and some cool sort of stuff with like an early Arnold Schwarzenegger version of the T-800 and some cool, like, interesting sci-fi stuff, it just didn't connect with me, man. It really didn't. It's not that it's a terrible movie, just I wasn't feeling it. And then Terminator Genesis, oh man, out of all the franchise, Terminator Genesis is clearly the worst. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but it really is. Like, Terminator Genesis, I'll give them credit for trying, I suppose. It's an interesting idea of them time traveling to different parts of the Terminator story and sort of reinterpreting it, which is interesting. And John Connor is evil and is a machine, and it just, there's interesting ideas, but the way it was executed was so not good, man. And the acting, I mean, they tried, but I thought it was really just a low bar for the franchise. It's interesting ideas, but the way they executed it, I thought was really bad. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people were turned off by that movie. And I mean, even James Cameron came out and was like, "Oh, this is the best Terminator movie since the T2." And everyone was like, "Oh, well, if James Cameron is promoting it, then it must be great." And then they saw the movie and they're like, "Dude, James Cameron, how much did you get paid, brother? How the fuck much did you get paid, man? Because they must have fucking pulled a fucking dump truck of cash to say that shit, man." And then you get Terminator Dark Fate. Now, look, we reviewed Terminator Dark Fate on the channel, and truth be told, it's not a bad movie. It's sort of middle of the road, in my opinion. It's an interesting idea to say, we rewrote history from T2, but to say the war still happens, you might not be the savior anymore, but this chick is the savior, and we've got to protect her. She's the new John Connor. And then sort of rolling everything from there, having Arnold Schwarzenegger in the franchise again, having Linda Hamilton back, which, by the way, Linda Hamilton was awesome in this role. I thought she was great, man. She was just tough as nails, a hardened sort of Sarah Connor that is even more badass than the one from Terminator Judgment Day. I mean, she's lived a long life. She's older. She's bitter. I love that aspect to it. I love the different Terminator versions. And I love the interesting twists and turns in the story. It's not a perfect movie. There is problems with it, especially when you really start to overthink the plot. Really big problems. But that being said, man, I still enjoyed it, and I thought it was enjoyable. And unfortunately, the movie didn't do so hot at the box office, so we'll never get a proper sequel. But I thought it was a unique and interesting spin with the Terminator franchise. And I think the Terminator series overall is a worthy series, but it's a very clunky series. And I think when you had the highs of 1 and 2, everything after that is very spotty, unfortunately. The Terminator franchise will always be known for two essential things, in my opinion. One, it will always be known for the time travel. Clearly, that's a given, guys. But it's also going to be known for Arnold Schwarzenegger, because, man, give that dude a lot of credit, because when other people cut and run, left the franchise, or eventually came back, he stuck with it. Like, literally, he's in all the movies in one way or another, for good or bad. The Terminator franchise and Arnold Schwarzenegger will always be tied together. But I gotta give him credit for sticking this franchise out, man, because, a lot of actors who are known for certain franchises, eventually they get tired of it and they go. But man, Schwarzenegger continued to want to be a part of this, and God bless him, dude. I mean, I can't say I always love Arnold Schwarzenegger in all of the Terminator movies, but give the man credit for his dedication, really, because he is truly, truly beyond dedicated, man. He really is. As far as, like, if I were to rank them, I'd probably rank it Terminator 2, Terminator 3, Dark Fate, Salvation, and then Genesis. That's kind of where my head is at right now. I mean, it could change a little bit depending on my mood from day to day, but that's kind of where my head is at. I mean, look, I appreciate the franchise, but it's not a perfect franchise by any means. But then again, when you have 6 films or more in a franchise, you're gonna have some good and bad movies in it. Not everything is going to be perfection. I'm kind of curious as to what you guys think of the Terminator franchise 1 through 6. Do you consider it a perfect franchise? Do you consider it weak? Is it middle of the road? Definitely let me know. I mean, it's an interesting set. Like I said, very thin. The artwork's okay. But honestly, I'm going to be real with you guys. Not every Terminator series is worth owning. Not every one. Like I said, I own Dark Fate. I own Terminator. I own T2 and Rise of the Machines. But I'm never going to be buying Salvation and never going to be buying Genesis. And this is one of these series that you don't actually have to watch all the movies in the franchise. You could literally skip a few installments and you're really not missing anything. So it's not that you need to watch the next installment to know what happened in the previous one. You really don't, man. Some series you do, but Terminator you don't, man. But it's a good series, but far from perfect, man. And actually, despite it being sort of thin on packaging, there's a lot of special features here, man. So I guess they didn't skimp out on the features. I thought they would have. Not a bad set, but I don't know how much it is, but I would probably skip it. Like I said, I only like probably like 3 or 4 out of the entire franchise. The other 2 or 3, I don't really think is worth owning. Am I wrong? I mean, definitely let me know, guys. Then I'm seeing over here they have the Blu-ray of 2067 for $12.99. Now, I got a chance to watch this thing on Amazon Prime, and I was very curious about this movie because I saw the trailer a long time back, man, and I actually really liked it. It looks like a very interesting time travel tale. So basically, the movie is about the future world that is basically dying because oxygen has almost gone the way of the dinosaur through certain things that have happened with the world and people's misuse of things and natural resources. And the human population is slowly dying and will eventually be extinct. And there is a message that is sent through this time travel portal that says, send Ethan White. It was played by Cody Smith McPhee. And they not sure why it is, what's going on, but they realize that if it's sent from the future, then humanity has still survived. So whatever happened, it might have happened because they sent him. So they have to take the gamble to send him, and he has to basically figure out what's going on in the future, how to save the present, and all the complications that kind of go with time travel. I really like this movie. I think 2067 is actually a pretty good film. I think the acting is phenomenal here. Ryan Quanten does a great job. Cody Smith McPhee, really, really good, man. He's really fantastic here. He plays scared. He plays angry. He plays kind of like losing his mind in the best possible way. Confused. I mean, he goes through the range of emotions in this film, and he does a really fantastic job. I thought the science fiction was solid. I thought the CGI was really good. I thought the set design and the effects, everything was really well done. But here's the problem, okay? And I'm going to be real with you guys, because as much as I really like this movie, the time travel is incredibly fucking confusing. And I mean confusing, man. It really is. Seriously. Now, if you just watch it as a surface level movie and not really think about the time travel too much, you might have a good time enjoying this movie. But if you really dive deep into the time travel, if you really bend your mind and try to figure out every little small thing, you are gonna fucking hate this movie. I'm serious, because I was watching reviews on YouTube, people trying to explain the movie, and the comment section, like this one dude was trying to explain the ending, and he got roasted in the comment section. Like, seriously, He got roasted. Everyone's like, oh, this movie is shit. Why is he going back in this time? And wouldn't there have been another message that said send Ethan White? And if his dead body is there, then why would he kill himself in the future world? Wouldn't he be going back to the present world? And how would they get the plants to farm stuff for the future? And there was so much fucking complications, man. And dude, I get it, man. Time travel is so tough, man. God, it's so tough. Any filmmaker that tries time travel, I gotta give them some credit, seriously, because it is not easy to do time travel, dude. Man, is it not. There are so many great movies that have gotten overcomplicated and got drowned out by the time travel. There's some that do it really successfully, like Back to the Future. I thought did a great, man. Even Harry Potter and The Prisoner of Azkaban, I thought did a pretty decent. It's so complicated doing time travel, dude, because if you don't think about every single angle, then you know somebody from the audience is going to be like, dude, why wasn't he doing this in the present if he's in the future doing this? Or I don't understand why they brought back this when it doesn't make any sense that it's in the future. Like there's so many twists and turns in time travel that can go so wrong, man. Dude, I kind of feel bad for this movie, because even though it's a good film, and even I had problems. Like, I was at the end of the movie, I was like, wait a minute, so he changed the future. So if he changed the future, why is it that when he went back in the first place, it was what it was? Like, I was so, like, confused myself, and I was literally racking my brain trying to figure out how it isn't a plot hole, but it ended up being a plot hole. And I'm like, it just turns your brain into fucking mush, man. So honestly, guys, I hate to say don't overthink time travel in this movie, but I know you guys are going to overthink it, man. It's still a good movie, and I like the science fiction aspect to it. I like the fact of, our natural resources are dying, and that we've done this to ourselves, and we have only ourselves to blame. I like some of the storyline. I like the acting. Everything is really good here. But the time travel is what really fucking undercuts it, man. Really, it does. And again, if you don't overthink the time travel, the movie's great. But if you're one of those people, kind of like me in some ways, that will overthink this motherfucker until you're, like, red in the face, there's a lot of problems here, man. This is not successful time travel logic, put it that way. It's a great movie, but the time travel does let it down. I hate to say it, but this is what happens when you can't think of everything in your story to do with time travel. You will find plot holes, and trust me, people definitely have with this movie, man. Great special features, though. Commentary and a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Like I said, it's a good movie. It really is. And it's a good science fiction tale, but man, it's one of those films where the time travel, if not done right, will let you down. And this one definitely did. And then I'm seeing this massive 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray Digital Limited Edition collection of Resident Evil. Includes all 6 movies. The PS5 4K movie essentials? They're already doing that for PS5, really? Apparently so. But my God, look at this thing, man. Now this is $69.99. The packaging is amazing. Look at that packaging. Oh, that packaging is boss, man. That's really cool packaging, man. I like that. It has the umbrella logo, and then I believe these open up, and probably the discs are inside there. It's really nice. I actually just kind of wish the movies were better. I really do, man. Oh, man. I don't know whether you guys are going to roast me or not. You probably are, man. God. Man, the Resident Evil franchise. So, crazy enough, I have literally seen all of the Resident Evil movies in the movie theater. I saw the very first one in the movie theaters with Bob and his sister. We literally went to the theater and saw it. And I actually really like that first film. That first film is still to this day, I kind of think it's a really nice little zombie film. I like Mila Jovovich in it. I like the story. I do like that first film. And then, let me turn this around. And then we get to Resident Evil Apocalypse. And there is some good things in Resident Evil Apocalypse. There is some good things in there that I do like. I still like Mila Jovovich in it. I like the storyline. But some of the characters felt a little shortchanged. The humor, not so much. And some of the bad guys, a little underwhelming. Still not a bad movie, but still nowhere near the first Resident Evil, at least in my opinion. Then you get to Resident Evil Extinction. And the problem with Resident Evil Extinction is that literally you end up doing such a time jump from Resident Evil Apocalypse to Resident Evil Extinction. You're like, well, wait a minute. We're now in weird desert landscapes. Now there's these weird zombies with like some shit coming out of their mouths. Like, what the fuck is this? Like literally, you'd have no idea, man. Seriously, no idea. And you just don't get it, and I just don't. I mean, like, it's not a bad movie essentially, but the problem is, again, that I have with it is that, again, the characters, a lot of them just barely get any sort of characterization or any sort of great moments. A lot of them are shortchanged. The bad guy is really just, again, underused in my opinion. It just kind of fell down the same rabbit hole as Resident Evil Apocalypse. But I do think Resident Evil Apocalypse is a better movie than Extinction. And then it really goes downhill with Resident Evil Afterlife. God damn it. Because the problem with the Resident Evil movies, especially dealing with Afterlife and Retribution and the final chapter, is that these movies literally make no fucking sense. Literally, like, they go from one interesting plot thing to the next. Different characterizations, different worlds, and it makes no sense. I mean, you had a cool little tease at the end of Extinction, and then at the beginning of Afterlife, they literally take that and piss it all away. And then, we're on to a whole different new story. Alice lost her powers, and suddenly we're no longer in desert landscape. Suddenly we're back into these ruined cities, and I'm like, what happened to the desert landscape? Fuck it, that was last film. Who cares? And then the bad guys are completely underwhelming. The action is a complete and utter joke here. Some slow-mo Matrix kung fu kind of action that literally can't even compare to the Matrix. Retribution is a literal clusterfuck of ideas. This sort of weird fake underground city that's trying to replicate Raccoon City and just can't quite do it. It's all over the fucking place. Characters from the video games that literally are really cool in the video games, have really cool backstories and are really cool characters, but get shortchanged in the movies. And the final chapter, don't even fucking get me started on the final chapter, man, because that movie is complete and utter dog shit. What they do with the Alice character and the cloning stuff, Jesus Christ, man, I fucking hated it. If the Terminator franchise is a little bit inconsistent, the Resident Evil franchise is literally an absolute clusterfuck of dog shit. Literally, man. I wish I could explain the Resident Evil franchise better, but that would mean that the movies would actually make sense. And they don't. They're terrible. I mean, I still have a soft spot for that first movie. For some reason, I really still like that first film, man. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's the cool zombie action in it, whether it's seeing Milla Jovovich in a skimpy red dress. I mean, I don't fucking know, man. But I really do like that movie. But everything after it literally is overcomplicated. It's just sci-fi action garbage, man. It really is. I'll give credit where credit is due, okay? Milla Jovovich, she stuck with this franchise through thick and thin. God bless her heart, man. She's great as Alice. She does a great job. Well, for the most part. But, you know, still, seriously, man. And some of the creatures and creature effects are kind of cool. The problem is everything else is shit. The characters, like I said, there's great characters from the video games that are awesome, that come over to the movie franchise and literally they're just there because they look cool. They don't have any characterization, and literally from film to film they disappear. Like literally they're nowhere to be found. Like Jill Valentine is in the second film, then they completely forget about her in the third film, and then suddenly eventually she pops up again in another film. Characters who were supposed to be in one film, suddenly the next film they're nowhere to be found. You don't even know. Well, they went away the same way as the plot. Nowhere, nothing. Man, I really wanted to like this movie series, and I've tried so many times. You guys have no idea how many times I've rewatched these movies to try to like them. But I just can't do it, man. I can't. Shit, man. I wish I could like these movies. I really wish I could. But that would mean that I would lower my standards in liking movies just so I would like a franchise in order to buy a box set. And I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to fit, you know, other people's standards onto my own. I just don't like this franchise, man. A lot of it has to do with shitty storytelling, and a lot of it has to do with Paul W.S. Anderson, man. Paul W.S. Anderson, again, he did a great first film, but then he was helping to write the other films, and then eventually direct the other ones, and all he did was literally play the Resident Evil games and thought, oh, well, that's a really cool thing. I'll put that into the next movie. Oh, that's a really kick-ass, cool little imagery. I'll put that in the film. Never paying attention to characters, never paying attention to plot or continuity or anything like that. He just said, fuck it. Paul W.S. Anderson, his fingerprints are all over this motherfucker. And it's unfortunate because it kills this franchise that was really promising because the games are fucking awesome. But the movie series is shit. Now, I do know that Resident Evil is redoing the franchise. I think they're doing like a TV show or something, which I cannot wait to check out, because I think in better hands, the Resident Evil franchise will be awesome. But get it away from Paul W.S. Anderson. Seriously, man, because this franchise is all fucked up. I mean, seriously, to me, and I'm just speaking for myself, but this is one of the worst franchises of all time. I don't know whether you guys agree with me or not. Frankly, I don't care. Because I just think these movies are shit. Well, most of them are shit. Most of them. I mean, there's a lot of special features here. A lot of really great stuff. And the packaging is awesome. But I just can't... I can't wholeheartedly say that these movies are good, because literally 5 out of the 6 films to me are just not that good, and some are downright dog shit. So yeah, I can't endorse the Resident Evil franchise. I really can't, man. I mean, great packaging if you love it. Sorry that I shit all over it, but damn, man, just because it's really good packaging doesn't mean that suddenly the franchise is good. The franchise is still shit. It's just flaming dog shit in better packaging. You know what I'm saying, man? And what's really weird and interesting, just a little tidbit about Resident Evil. Resident Evil was actually supposed to be directed by George Romero. George Romero was supposed to direct the original original Resident Evil. And then what ended up happening was that I think maybe he had an issue with the producers or something, and they sort of fell out of creative control with one another, and he didn't do the movie. But how wild would it have been had George Romero made a fucking Resident Evil movie? That would have been awesome. Unfortunately, we get Paul W.S. Anderson, and you have the franchise that you have. Adults, don't let other adults give Paul W.S. Anderson money to make Resident Evil movies. Do the responsible thing, and don't give that man any more of your hard-earned money, because he doesn't deserve it, man. Oh, God. Pure, unadulterated Paul W.S. Anderson dog shit. And then I'm seeing they have the Blu-ray of Relic for $16.99. And then I'm seeing they have the Blu-ray of Relic for $16.99. I really like that cover, man. That's a really, really great art, man. Awesome. From IFC Midnight and Scream Factory. Oh, great. Now, I got a chance to watch this on Amazon Prime, and yes, as I said before, I have been a very, very busy boy, man, watching movies for you guys. And I wanted to watch this one because I've heard really nothing but good things about this film. Really, this film's gotten a lot of praise from the horror community, and just movie lovers in general have really liked Relic. And so I'm like, okay, I gotta give this one a chance, man. And basically, it's about this mother and daughter who find out that, their mother/grandmother is missing. And they don't know where she is. They're trying to find her. Where could she have gone? And one day she just pops back up again. She's just right there. And they're like, what happened to you? And she's like, I don't know. Does it matter? And they're like, yeah, it kind of does. And she just kind of shrugs them off. And there's this sort of black sort of mass on her chest. And they think that it must be sort of like a black and blue mark. She must have tripped or something. But it's slowly getting worse. And the house is starting to decay. And they soon realize that maybe their mother/grandmother isn't what she's supposed to be anymore. And maybe there's something more insidious going on. I gotta tell you guys, it's a great movie, man. It really is. The acting is phenomenal here. The story is great. It's really tense and chilling at moments. Some great horror aspects to it. Great horrific imagery. Really well done, man. And basically, it's a way of telling a story about Alzheimer's and dementia. Pretty much that's what it's about. Because sort of the black mark that's on her, that's sort of festering and getting worse, is sort of the way of telling the story of her losing her mind and her moments and her imagery that she's carried with her for so long. And it's just a way to talk about how people slowly lose their minds with dementia and don't remember things and are not the person that they used to be. And it's a very interesting sort of theme to do within a horror flick. To take that and sort of spin it into a horror version of that is really unique and interesting. And I thought it was extremely well done, man. It's a very well done, well told movie that you can take as just a regular horror flick that she's turning into some sort of weird creature monster, or you could take it as she's becoming a different person because she's slowly losing her mind and she's losing her memories, and she's becoming angry and distant because she's no longer the grandmother that you know and love, because she's slowly losing those memories that have made her who she is. Some really interesting, fascinating themes in this movie that are all incredibly well done. It's a really well told movie. It reminded me a lot of something like The Taking of Deborah Logan. It reminded me something like that, but this movie I think is a little more well told. But both of those films are phenomenal. Like I said, the acting is amazing. The imagery is great here. The story is really great. Bringing in these very great timely adult themes and putting them into this horror film where a lot of horror fans and movie lovers can really relate to the material. It's a good one. It really is. It's a great film. I can't say all the IFC Midnight movies are good. Some of them I'm not really a fan of, but Relic, I think not only can horror fans really love it, but I think people who have dealt with loved ones who have had this terrible, debilitating disease of dementia and Alzheimer's, I think can look at this film and really see the suffering that a family can go through and how it truly can be a horror story. Phenomenal movie, man. Phenomenal, man. Unfortunately, there's not really much in the way of special features, but it's a movie that definitely has to be watched, man. And if you guys ever get a chance to watch this, highly recommend this one, man. So well done. I really was blown away by that one. So good. And actually, not bad this week. Some of the new releases, some stuff we definitely haven't seen. Not all of the releases that we saw from previous stores, but honestly, hey, Best Buy came through again, man. Really loved what they had. All right, let's head out. Well, Best Buy comes through yet again, guys. Very nice selection this week. At least we got to see one exclusive and some releases that we did not see anywhere else. Some really good and interesting variety this week. Not half bad. Again, could have been a little bit better. I mean, we didn't see Unhinged and a few other things that I thought we might see at this store, but hey, we see it at one store, then we don't see it at another. We see something different at this store that we didn't see at the other place. Hey, man, I just show off the media. I don't do the ordering. You know what I'm saying, man? But I still think they did a really great job and some really cool releases this week. And also, if you notice, right down here, they are setting up for Black Friday. They got all the Black Friday stands up. They have some movies over there. Oh, the Black Friday sensation is coming, baby. Very soon. I know some stores are putting out the deals already and all the movies. I know that, guys. My Black Friday video will be happening very soon, and I cannot wait, guys. Some really cool deals and some really great movies on sale. Cannot wait. But until then, well, we'll save that for another time. But I hope you guys enjoyed the trip over to Best Buy. I definitely did. Let's head home and finish the video. Alright, everybody, that'll do it for the Blu-ray and DVD out and about video this week. And man, oh boy. Okay, look, I knew it was going to be a plentiful week. There was a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of stuff to show off, and I went into Walmart laser, man. I was like, okay, I'm going straight to the physical media section. There's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about, man. I am ready, baby. And I go to the section. Well, what? Is this a joke? There's nothing. What the hell? It completely threw me off, man. It really did. I mean, they had not even the big releases. Nothing. That was nuts, man. I mean, thank God for Target and thank God for Best Buy, man, because they really came through in a big bad way. They really did, man. And I even went back to the first Walmart location, you know, to see if they had gotten anything, they put any of the media out, and there was literally zippo, zilch, nada, nothing. I talked to one of the electronics employees, and they said that it was a truck issue, that, you know, their truck was really late, and you know, was just a truck issue fault. And I was like, I thought you guys got their physical media early, but maybe not. I mean, even the other Walmart really didn't have much. I mean, they had a little bit more, but really they were wiped, man. So I don't know what was going on with my Walmarts this week. But I mean, even when I went back into the first Walmart location, though, I did end up finding the Black Friday displays, baby. I did find them. A lot of really good physical media, it seems like. Still very plentiful. Seems like some really cool deals. Definitely prepare for Black Friday. Best Buy is getting prepared for it. Hopefully, Target is getting prepared as well. And so am I, man. I will be doing my Black Friday video next week. Now, yes, I could have done the Black Friday video early, you know, one for Walmart and one for Best Buy. I could have done it. But honestly, I kind of want to save it all for one day. I really do, man. I've sort of gotten into this really great tradition of doing the Black Friday videos on that Black Friday day, and I kind of I like tradition, man. I like tradition, so I'm gonna stick with that, and I'm gonna do the Black Friday video next week. You know, I'm getting prepared for it. I can't wait for the great deals and the sales. It should be really cool, man. Black Friday Coronavirus Edition. Oh man, the one and only Coronavirus Edition. Should be fun. Let's hope I don't get trampled. But I think this year I'm pretty safe. But yeah, so next week I will be doing that video, man. But in the meantime, some great physical media this week. Hopefully you guys picked up something good. If you did, definitely let me know. As far as I'm concerned, I did get a couple packages in the mail, man. And the first is from Diabolic DVD, man. Yes. They love me. Diabolic. Let's be real. This is actually a Clint Eastwood movie. And it's not a Western, okay? And it's not even later Clint Eastwood. It's early Clint Eastwood, starring, and I believe he directed this as well. This is a erotic thriller and predates movies like Fatal Attraction and a lot of the ones that really came to prominence. But this one is one of the originators, and it's a movie within Clint Eastwood's library that I don't really think many people really. I mean, I know it's known by people, but I don't think it's as well remembered as some of his later work. I think we focus on Clint Eastwood, we focus on the later work of Clint Eastwood. But the early work tends to go a little bit towards the wayside a little bit. But this is a really good one that the people who love it really love it, but I don't think it's as widely thought of or remembered as it should be. So when a great edition of it came out, I decided, what the hell, I'm going to pick it up, man. So, early Clint Eastwood goodness. Not bad. And then I also got a package from New Jersey? Okay, it was sent to a facility in New Jersey, and it finally came to me. In fact, it's a Amazon.com package, but it's actually a Amazon UK package. Now, I had to order this because the boutique label website that this actually is from is all sold out on that website. So I had to get it through Amazon UK in order to get an edition of it. So I decided, what the hell, I like Amazon UK. They package stuff really well. Have never had complaints with them. But this is actually a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. Now, crazy enough, guys, this is actually the very first Jean-Claude Van Damme movie that I will ever have in the collection. Do you guys realize that I have never had any Jean-Claude Van Damme movies in the collection? This will be the very first one. I know, it's kind of crazy, right, to think that. Like, I own, like, so many movies, and yet this will be the very first Jean-Claude Van Damme movie I'll ever have. That's kind of nuts, man. But this is actually a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie from the 90s. It's a movie that I remember when I was a kid, and I remember being so hyped for this movie, and then being kind of disappointed in it. And I still liked the movie, but maybe my expectations were too high. You know, maybe I was expecting this great movie adaptation that didn't quite deliver. And I've never seen it since. But I've always remembered the movie. And when this label decided to put out a collector's edition release, I was like, wait a minute, you're putting out a collector's edition release of this Jean-Claude Van Damme movie? I thought to myself, like, there's a lot of Jean-Claude Van Damme movies that get editions, deservedly so, but never in my wildest dreams would I ever think this one was going to get one. Never at all, man. It's a very unique movie within Jean-Claude Van Damme's repertoire. Very unique and interesting. It's one that not a lot of people talk about, but when this edition got announced, I think people were like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like, we gotta jump on this. And I had to jump on this. I haven't watched it since I was a kid. I took a gamble on this. Hopefully it's going to pay off and I end up actually remember liking it. But taking a gamble on a little Jean-Claude Van Damme goodness, not half bad, guys. So decided, why not? So the first, and so far only, Jean-Claude Van Damme movie that I have in the collection. And not half bad. Amazon UK, and a little diabolic DVD action, baby. But you guys will not get to find out exactly what I picked up until my Blu-ray pickups video, which will drop, hopefully, next month. It'll show off all the titles that I got for the month of November. And boy, it's going to be a small haul for November, but it's going to be a worthy haul. I mean, retro titles, 90s, 80s, collector's editions, limited editions, and much more, and all the weird oddities that I get, man, all the goodies, man. It's gonna be really, really good, really, really fun, and I can't wait to show you those pickups. And also, stay tuned either this weekend or next weekend for my Blu-ray pickup video for September. I know it's kind of late, I'm backed up a little bit, but I'm doing my best to want to get this stuff out for you guys. I'm crazy busy, a lot of stuff going on, holidays are kicking my ass at work, but I'm still trying to do my best for you guys. So if it doesn't come out this weekend, prepare for it next weekend, guys. But it's got some really great stuff this time around. September was really plentiful, and just like all the previous hauls, there's some weird oddities and some really fun titles, and I cannot wait to show you guys. It's going to be super, super fun. And before I let you guys go, this isn't about a news story or anything like that. I'm not going to talk about a news story. I actually want to show off another package that I got. And this is actually viewer mail. This comes all the way from Australia, baby. Australia Post. From my very wonderful subscriber, George. I was amazed to get this package, man. I was not expecting another package from George. Wow. Dude, this is amazing. So I wanted to show this off. I thought this was really worthy for me to do it. And I've already opened it up, but I'll open it up for you guys. But this is really great, man. And I couldn't believe what you sent, George. This is great, man. So not only did George send movies, but he also ended up sending me sending me popcorn, man. He sent me the pop-in microwave popcorn. This is awesome, man. This is really cool. This comes all the way from fucking Australia, man. This is nuts. Whoa. That's cool. I definitely gotta pop this. I love popcorn, man. He also ended up getting me a couple of Snickers bars. I was like, whoa. I was like, George, how did you know that I love Snickers, man? Actually, my two favorites are Snickers and Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Oh my god, how did you know, man? How did you know, you sneaky son of a bitch? So yeah, Snickers, but that's awesome. And he also ended up sending me 3 movies, which is great. He ended up sending me American Assassin on 4K, which is really cool, man. I love this movie. This is an awesome, awesome flick. I actually already own the Blu-ray edition, but not the 4K edition. So this is very, very cool. Thank you, sir. Also, he got me The Cold Light of Day with Henry Cavill, Sigourney Weaver, and Bruce Willis. Very, very cool, man. I've watched this movie, but it's been a long time since I've watched it, so I will have to definitely rewatch this one again. And then he got me one that I really love. This is a great fucking movie. I don't own this film at all, but it's such a great flick, and that is No Escape with Owen Wilson and Pierce Brosnan. I love this flick, man. This is an awesome, awesome flick, dude. I've never owned this one before, so this is definitely going in the collection by far, man. So good. I love this flick, man. Really, really great, man. And also, he sent a letter as well, and I'm going to read the letter because I think it's worthy to read. Hey, Seth. Greetings from Australia. What a year 2020 has been for us all. You're damn right. It faced us with challenges in our everyday life. However, you still managed somehow to provide your subscribers with an out and about, week in, week out, as well as your pickup videos. And for this, I want to thank you sincerely for all the information on the new release movies you put out for us all. Enclosed is a small token of my appreciation for the great content you have on your channel. It's difficult to shop for someone like yourself that has many movies in his collection. Well, this is true. You talk to my mother and my girlfriend, they'll attest to it. However, I took a gamble on these movies hoping that you don't have them and you enjoy them. If not, feel free to sell them or flip them, as you guys in America say. I also was taking note on one of your live streams as to which snack you like. So, did I say it in a snack? Did I? In a live stream? Did I? I might have. I'm kind of losing it a little bit. I probably did. I took the liberty to enclose a couple of Snickers bars for you to enjoy while watching movies at home, and some microwave popcorn too, which I greatly appreciate. So a big thank you once again, Seth. I look forward to what content you have for us next year and beyond. Keep up the great work, Seth. Happy hunting, and keep safe. Your friend and subscriber from Australia, George. Man, dude, you're gonna get me all emotional, man. Oh shit, you're gonna get me all emotional. You know, I don't think for a single second that you guys would ever want to send me stuff. Seriously. You know, I'm not a big YouTuber. I don't have, just tens of thousands of subscribers. I don't. And I've never gone out of my way to ever say to you guys, hey, send me shit. I've never done it. So the fact that you, George, or anybody would send me something out of the kindness of their heart, to go out of their way to care enough to do that, astounds me to no end. It really does, man. So I want to thank you, George, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, man. And even in the last live stream, you guys have went out of your way to say, hey, get a P.O. box. We'll send you stuff. And I'm like, I just didn't think you guys cared. I didn't think you guys really cared to want to send me stuff. So I am looking into the P.O. box. Hopefully within the next week or so, I'll kind of get that ball rolling. Because I I'll look forward to what you guys send me. In fact, if I get enough stuff, I'll do a separate, subscriber video, just showing off the mail that I get from you guys. It boggles my mind. I do this out of the love of movies and physical media. That's why I do it. Yes, it's nice to be appreciated, but I do this because I want to show you guys appreciation. I want to go out of my way to show you guys all the physical media and talk about the movies and share a really great, wonderful moment with all of you. And hopefully you can enjoy what I do for you. That's all I hope for. And the fact that one of you guys would do this is amazing to me. It really honestly is. So man, it blows my goddamn mind. It literally blows my mind. So seriously, George, seriously, man, from the bottom of my heart, number one, you have my utmost respect, man. But secondly, the fact that you took the time out of your daily, everyday life during the fucking coronavirus pandemic that we're in and Australia's dealing with as well, all across the world, to send me a fucking package. Man, that shit is wild. So don't think for a single second that I do not appreciate this. Don't think for a single second that I won't forget this, because I'm literally gonna frame your stuff, man. I'm literally gonna frame your letters, because because it will remind me of the great appreciation that I get from you guys, and that it won't ever be lost on me. So thank you so much, man. I just had to show this off, and just to show you the love, George, and show any of you the love that really appreciate me, because sometimes you wake up in the morning and you say to yourself, I don't know how much longer I can do this. I don't know, man. You wake up and you have those days of doubt. But, man, you guys really pull through for me. And God love each and every one of you, really. Seriously. Thank you. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Check out the other Blu-ray and DVD Tuesday videos I've done, Blu-ray pickup videos, movie reviews with my friends, movie huntings, live streams, and much, much more. If you're a fan of movies and physical media, then hit subscribe and become a part of the Film Fan Nation. I gotta thank my wonderful subscribers like George and every single one of you watching the videos, subscribing, sending me really great feedback and wonderful messages. You guys are absolutely amazing, wonderful subscribers, and I love each and every one of you. You give me the love, and hopefully I give the love right back to you. And keep up to date with everything I'm doing through Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. FilmFan108. Check out the content on those areas, and I post special pictures and videos from time to time on social media as well. Alright guys, I will see you back next week for a brand new Blu-ray and DVD out and about video. Take care everybody, and happy hunting.